Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Orange Logic Tech Lab. Approvals, moving beyond DAM as an asset endpoint. Over to you, Christopher.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Morgan Wilson. I'm the lead sales engineer here at Orange Logic. A little bit about myself. I actually come from the world of film and entertainment. Before this, I was at DreamWorks Animation, followed by Disney's AFV as their digital asset manager for about 7 years. So I've used quite a few DAMs in my life, but today, very excited to showcase Orange DAM's approval module and how it could potentially be a benefit to you and your team. Today, I am joined by Jennifer Pflaumer, in which I will pass it off to her.
Thank you, Christopher. My name is Jennifer Pflaumer. I'm principal of Paroo, an independent consulting agency. I've been in business for about 13 years, and I help my clients evaluate, implement, and maintain their DAM systems. And I work with Orange Logic frequently to help our mutual clients implement and maintain their DAM system. I'm happy to be here today. So usually my clients start using the DAM for final assets. And as they do that, they begin to connect the dots with other parts of their creative workflows to start using the DAM in different ways. So they begin to see ways that the DAM can streamline their creative workflows, strengthen their central source of truth, house works in progress assets, and eliminate redundant systems. So one example I've seen of this is creative teams who gather approvals and make edits to photography selections to compile a final set of assets to use in marketing and promotional activities. Once the photographers capture the assets, those images need to be reviewed, either externally by talent and agents for approval of the assets, or internally by editors to make selections from those final approved assets, and then finally retouched to use for marketing and distribution. So there are dedicated systems that provide the ability to send out assets for approvals and to make edits and selections on sets of assets. Though for some clients, they saw the benefits of bringing that same functionality into their DAM so that they could manage all aspects of the editing process in one location. So this is sort of what a typical workflow would look like after a client had implemented a DAM system, but they were simultaneously using a separate approvals and edits software. The assets would be initially ingested directly into that approval or edit software by the photographers. Then links would be sent out from that system to approvers to review and select the assets for use. From there, an editor would retouch the asset in the photo editing software of their choice. And then those retouched assets would be uploaded to the DAM for preservation. But at this point, they would not have any of that approval metadata or anything that was captured in that alternate system. But once the assets were uploaded into the DAM, they would be shared with promo teams to use for distribution. So there were a few points and possibilities for failure in that dual system process. So some clients that I worked with wanted a way to have the entire end-to-end process take place in the DAM in order to simplify it and ensure that approval metadata would be captured in one location where it could be referred back to as needed. So Orange Logic and with our system Orange DAM have configured a workflow that looked something like this. So the assets could be ingested directly into the DAM by the photographers. Then links could be sent out to approvers from the system to review and select those assets. From there, an editor could go in, retouch the assets in photo editing software that's integrated with the DAM. And then those approved and retouched assets were automatically saved back into the DAM with all the needed metadata, and then they were ready for distribution and preservation. So now Christopher will show how talent approval looks in Orange DAM and the solution that they configured for this.
Yeah, so as Jennifer mentioned, there's quite a few benefits with using the DAM as that one central location for everything, your work in progress assets, your approvals, everything. So I'll show you an example of how some of our clients go about using it. So let's say the photographers have uploaded some, let's say, behind the scenes assets from a new promo we're working on. So we have all our images here. And let's say, we got our talent, Jamie Wilson, I need to find all the assets with Jamie Wilson and then send them out for approval. So on the side, I've filtered down to all the Jamie Wilson assets. And now in my browser, let's say I create a new approval edit. Let's call this Chris's approval. Orange Dam already knows that this is for the talent Jamie Wilson. Now we can set a rejection rate. So we have our individual rejection rate where it's just Jamie, it's just our talent. Let's say the agent can reject up to 45% of those. And then any asset where Jamie is in a group, maybe with multiple people, they can reject up to 30. So I can set some predetermined conditions for this approval. I'm going to copy all my results over. So now I have an approval dedicated to Jamie Wilson. So here's my approval. And now, oftentimes you have to send these out to talent, to the agents, people outside of the dam. So from here, I'm going to share this out. I'm going to email it to selected users. I can set, can they make approvals? In this case, yes, I do want them to make those approvals. You can set the default status. So when they see this approval, do you want everything to default to approved, default to rejected, or nothing at all? So we found a lot of our clients, the talent or the agents that they're sending it out to, were only really ever rejecting 5 or 6 assets out of the 200 that were sent. So it's easier to just have them default to a certain state. But underneath that, we have our share expiration. How long do I want them to have to complete this? So I'll do 1 week. 3 months is quite a long time in the entertainment industry. And then down here, we have limit devices. So in working with some of our entertainment clients, they were finding that the talent or the agent or the people who you're sending these approvals to, they're busy people. They're not going to want to remember a login, a password, or anything like that. They just want to click on a link and make the approvals. But you still want these links to be secure. So that's why we've introduced a limit device feature where you can set how many times this can be opened on how many devices. So let's say I send this to Jennifer and she opens that link. She's able to make her approvals, but let's say she then forwards it to a friend of hers. That friend will not be able to open the link because it will be expired. And then down here, we have metadata links. Do you want them to be able to see some metadata, the title, the description? That is up to you. But at the end of the day, compose my email. Orange Dam remembers who the last person you sent it to was, whether it's the talent or the agent. Down here, we have our email template. So I'm going to share this out to my agent user. So let me hop into my inbox, but they will get an email that looks similar to this. So it says, hello, you have 17 Jamie Wilson assets to approve. And I'm going to open this in a new private window to simulate a new user. So they open that link and this is their view. So up here, they have how many individual assets they can approve, how many group assets they can approve, and down here they have their assets. Now, straight from the thumbnail, they can go in and approve or reject. Keep in mind, we defaulted everything to approve. So I can even click into the actual assets themselves to fly through and make those approvals, either using the buttons up top or maybe 1 and 2 on my keyboard. So approve, 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 reject. So I'd go through these, make my approvals, make my selects. But let's say I see an asset and maybe I like it, but I want something about it changed. Maybe I want a revision made. So you can allow certain users to request revisions. So let's say this agent, they want to request a revision. And oops, here. So they request a revision. They'll be notified, or someone will be notified that this user wants the request made. They can even be more specific. Let's say, please make these headphones red. So depending on how much access you give the user, they can use the DAM to collaborate, to edit, to approve, to make those changes. But while we're on the subject of making changes and using the DAM for everything, let me hop back into my view as maybe the photo retoucher. So from the DAM, let's say from my dashboard, let's say I come in to work in the morning and I scroll down, and on my dashboard, I see, oh, well, I have a new revision request. So let's see what this is. Okay, happy dance. What do they need? Okay, so Bryce wants us to make these headphones red. Okay, I can do that. So as the editor in the DAM, all I need to do is click edit on my computer, and Orange DAM is going to send this to me and open it up in whatever application I've set as my default. In this case, I have mine set as Photoshop. So I'm going to give Photoshop a second to do its thing, but it's going to open up with this image already in place. So I know that Bryce wanted to make these headphones red. So let's do red. There we go. So for the sake of time, let's say I've gone in, I've made my changes. Maybe I've added more assets to this image. Once I'm done, all I need to do is click save. Orange DAM will detect that I've actually made some changes, and it's going to save it back into the DAM as a new version. So as the editor, I don't have to export it, save it to my desktop, log back into the DAM, find my project, find my folder, drag and drop it. It does all that busy work for me. So I'm done in Photoshop. I can close this out. So now let me refresh my view. There we go. So straight from the DAM, I was able to go in, check this out, edit it on my computer, make those changes and push it back to the DAM. And let's say as the editor, hey, I'm done revising this asset. Maybe it kicks it to the next person in line to review it, or maybe back to that approver for their final review. But regardless of who I send this to, maybe it's been a while, they forget what exactly has changed. At any given point in time, they can hop in and actually see and compare those different versions directly in the DAM. Now, this is one of the benefits of editing from the DAM because you have all your versions. I got my new red headphones on the right. I got my old yellow headphones on the left, alongside an audit trail of who's requesting these changes, so that at any given point, someone comes to me and says, hey, who made these red? Who made these blue? I can reference back to this and all the essentially the comment trail. But jumping back into the view of the approver, I'm going to refresh this real quick. So they can be notified that they have some new assets to approve. And yes, they can see, okay, I have my new red headphones. I approve it. Although we had defaulted everything to approved anyways. So at the end of the day, let's say I go through, I approve, I reject the assets that I like or don't like, made my changes, and now I'm ready to submit. Now, they can leave an optional message if they want. This looks great. Complete the approval, and it will kick it off to, again, the next person in line, whoever sent this out, maybe the legal team to review, make their own approvals. But one final time, jumping back into my view as maybe the admin. Let's say I've sent this out to multiple people. They've all gone through, they've made their approvals, they've made their selects. I'm able to hop into the DAM, and I'm able to see, and let me expand this. So here we have the approval that we just made. I can see, okay, out of all 17 assets, they rejected these two. Now I can also use the filters on my side. Show me all the assets that Chris or Bryce rejected. Okay, well, they rejected these two. Show me all the ones that they approved. So they approved these 4. The rest are still indexing. But with these filters combined, we can use this to really narrow down and find exactly what is approved by everyone. So using the filters on the side, I can say, hey, show me everything Jamie's agent approved and everything Christopher approved. So across these 2, 5, 10 approvals, show me everything everyone agreed on. You can even use or. Show me everything Jamie approved or Christopher approved. So as long as one person approved it, I can filter by it. And to kind of wrap things up, when it comes to these approvals, this is just one of the many flavors of the button. So, some people or some of our clients use this to make approvals. Some of them use it to make selects. So just to give you an example, instead of having the approve or reject button, maybe you have, 1, 2, kill, reject. Maybe you have a happy face, sad face, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. These buttons are completely customizable, so you're not locked into any specific workflow. But at the end of the day, I keep saying, this is just one of the ways you could use the DAM as that one central source of truth. Use it for everything, from uploading to approvals to making those changes, and then maybe finally distribution. I take those approved assets and I push them to social. I put them to the distribution network. I push them to whoever it needs to be. But with that said, I will push it back to Jennifer.
Thanks, Chris. So the implementation of that talent approval module within OrangeDAM enabled our joint clients to house their complete end-to-end process of ingest to approvals, to edits, to distribution, all in one place. So they were able to realize these points listed here. So speed to market, they were able to consolidate the workflows, which provided the ability for that creative team to get their final assets out for distribution more efficiently. They have peace of mind with security because the process takes place in the DAM. So their collateral stays secure, prevents unauthorized downloads, and using that single access link protects your assets even further. They've strengthened the DAM as the central source of truth. So the ability to capture the approval metadata within the system and build edits and selections based on that information allows the creative teams to work within the same system, which minimizes the need to go in and out of a couple of different systems to work and find the assets that they need in one place. And finally, it strengthens the DAM value. So with the approvals workflow within the DAM, this reinforces the user's familiarity with the system, strengthening the value of the DAM system across the enterprise. So all in all, this was a really valuable addition to the OrangeDAM product, which has produced efficiencies for our mutual clients. Thank you, Christopher.
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. And yeah, thank you, everyone. If you would like, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out directly to Jennifer or I, or stop by our booth. We're more than happy to chat.